So this was discovered by Mav as he was working on his Final Fantasy VII tool and just going through the Final Fantasy code. He found something really peculiar with the Chocobo farm here. It turns out that these 4 chocobos, if you have 4 fenced chocobos, are not yellow, technically. 3 of them are different colors, one of which is a color we've never seen on a chocobo before, at least officially in the game. Basically, the F level code, which is the base code that all the scripts and everything are written on, actually denotes these chocobos as different colors. And then above that, there's another line of code that someone else wrote, or the same person wrote, that changes them back to yellow. These are the only chocobos that are like that. All the other chocobos in the game, they're just denoted as yellow. Or if you go into if you have like a blue chocobo, then it denotes it as blue. These are the only chocobos in the game where for some reason they're different colors, and then there's another extra line of code that changes them back to yellow. Now I have a theory as to why this is, but let me show you what it looks like if we turn that code off. So if I go into the farm, and then I open up, let me jump over here so you can see it. If I open up Cheat Engine here, this is the line of code that changes them back to yellow. So we're gonna change it, and we're gonna run back out. And now you will see 2 of them are this kind of blue chocobo, but a bit darker, I think. And then we have a purple chocobo for the first time ever. It's been here the whole time. He's been hidden in plain sight. The legendary purple chocobo, or pink. Up to you. I think it's purple, but my wife and I always argue on what's purple and what's pink. But there he is. So I have a theory as to why this is. I think the person that did the F level code for the Chocobo farm had changed the colors for debugging, because you'll notice the purple Chocobo is the one that is like up against the fence, so you can talk to him and get the Chocomog materia. And then the 2 blue chocobos are the ones that follow each other around. So it was probably done so that he could easily tell which ones were which, so he could do the walking animations. And then he just never changed them back for whatever reason. And then what probably happened was it was handed off to someone else who was not familiar with the F level code, and then they just had to write a separate line of code to change it back to yellow. Which sounds really bizarre and stupid, but it's actually pretty common for this to happen in game development, for something to be passed on and then they have to go back and fix something, but they're not familiar with the same exact stuff. But nowadays, with engines being more like popular, and most games use popular engines, it's not as much of a problem. But Final Fantasy VII was written on its own engine. A lot of games are written on their own engines. A lot of times stuff gets passed along and people don't have familiarity with what the previous person wrote. And this engine, especially like the F level code, you can't write notes. There's no like code notes. So and also we have a lot of history with this game and its code, and it being completely obvious that more than one person worked on the same thing. There's plenty of parts in the game where something was passed on to someone else, and you can tell from the code because it's written completely differently. So, yeah, that's probably what happened. But either way, there it is. Hidden in plain sight, the mysterious purple Chocobo.